So, I mean, this is not on the list of questions, but I'm curious what you think about the fall market, because there's a lot of speculation out there that maybe a lot of people will continue to lose their jobs going into the fall market, and it might actually be a little bit slower. What do you think about that?
For what we're seeing in the north part of the GTA, people are active. We're selling, all of our listings are selling for between 100 and 110% over asking, because there's so much demand over here. We have less than 2 months of supply. So as we, finished up June and headed into July, even the first part of July was very active here. And there's no catalyst to make that stop, right? And people that are losing their jobs, they're temporary layoffs. It's more of a corporate decision to take advantage of government systems and things like that. A lot of people that did lose their jobs around here are being rehired because employers are taking advantage of the 75% subsidy that the government is giving to bring their employees back. The other thing is, this is very different. It's atypical, right? Because the government was giving everyone pretty much $2,000 a month in order to survive through this pandemic. And people got, at least $8,000 because they got it for 4 months. Whereas in a recession previously, or 2008, you weren't getting that money. So if you were laid off, you were really laid off. Here, even if you were laid off, you're still making $2,000 a month. And that helped to support people to get through this period. And, the one thing that we're facing here is with the borders closed, there's not a lot of foreign people coming in to buy in the Markham, Richmond Hill areas. So that is affecting us. But at the same time, our supply is so limited. And if you think about housing starts, anything that wasn't under construction was stopped. So a lot of these new builds that hadn't started and are just about to launch, they were either postponed, maybe a few months, some of them by a year. So think about what that's going to do to inventory moving forward, even into the fall market, winter market. We're still going to be faced with this inventory crisis, a supply crisis, and demand is still continuing to remain strong. Even if demand drops off a little bit, it's still going to far outweigh supply. And that's going to continue to fuel the bidding wars and the multiple offers, and prices are going to continue to increase. I mean, in Markham, we're seeing in York region as a whole, every municipality has shown an increase over the first 6 months of 2020 versus the first 6 months of 2019. So that's a pretty big cross section. We're not just looking at a month or two, we're looking at 6 months. And every municipality has shown an increase, and York region as an average has shown a price increase of 12%. So if people were sitting on the fence and waiting and it keeps going up, that's a lot of buying power that they're losing. So it's in their best interest for buyers to be acting now.
Okay, so then my next question is, how has the market evolved since mid-March? It sounds like it's very active, it's really busy. Where is the market now? Would you say that the market is as competitive as it was before, or it's less competitive, more competitive?
Oh yeah, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I want to add something to what Asif was saying, but yeah.
Actually, so did I, but we can
Yeah,
add.
there you go, right? Let's add our own 2 cents to it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you please go. No, you please go.
Okay, I just want to, sorry, May, I don't mean to ignore your question, but I just want to add to what Asif said. I mean, I do think there's no way you can really predict the market, okay? You can't. Economists have been trying it for a very, very long time, for decades, and the few that have gotten it right have gotten it right because they've been saying the same thing over and over for half a dozen years, and hey, they got it right. So no, we don't know where the market's going. We're not sure. I'm not sure that it's going to be busier or prices will sustain or prices will go higher in the fall. What I tell people is, if you're buying long-term, if you're buying to stay 5, 10, 15, 20 years, be cautious, but worry about buying the home that you're going to stay in for the long run. And this way, if prices fall, you're protected. You're in your home. You can afford it when you bought it. You should be able to continue to afford it as long as your job hasn't been affected, obviously. If prices go up, well then you're in a great position. And the other thing I would say is, just on that note, is watch the months of inventory. I know, Asif, you mentioned that months of inventory, meaning how much inventory is available for sale. At the moment, we have about 2 months, actually 1.68 in Toronto to be exact, 2 months in the GTA, which means if nobody sells their home tomorrow, if no other homes go on the market tomorrow, we will have 2 months worth of inventory, and we will be sold out of all home types: condos, townhomes, freeholds. So that's a seller's market. If we get up to 5 or 6 months, it's a flat market. It's everybody can kind of take their time to buy. If we get up to 8 or 9 months, which happened to Vancouver last year, it became a little bit more of a buyer's market. You can slow down, you could take your time looking at homes, you have more choice. And when that happens, well, prices could fall. So right now we're in a seller's market. Watch the months of inventory. If that rises in the fall because of more unemployment, which is possible, because CERB runs out, mortgage deferrals run out, and demand could slip. And my last point is this: demand was held in March and April. It just was paused, as we said. So all those people looking just stopped, paused, watched the market. May and June started, and those people woke up and said, let's get back in the market. Well, now those people came in, the regular spring buyers dove in, and we have a new buyer. We have the buyer that now has decided they want to move from the city to the suburbs. So you got all this huge demand, people not listing because of basically kind of being scared of COVID and not being sure about having people in their houses, low inventory, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now. Will that continue into the fall? It's a bit of a guessing game, and I'm concerned about the economy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly what I was going to say.
You should have went first.
You said it so much better than me. English is my third language, so I'm trying hard. But you know what? What he said exactly, which is when Asif said that, yeah, there's, you know, so much demand, multiple offers, 100% right. But I think it's exactly what Gus is saying, is that it's pent up demand. And a lot of my clients, yeah, they were kind of like on the sidelines during COVID. But even if they weren't, there was nothing out there. People weren't going to sell in April, and it was only people that kind of needed to. But all these people, like, I mean, everybody from spring, first of all, not just from spring, everybody from January that has been missing out on all those multiple offers, they were waiting for spring. And then spring never came. And now add to that the spring buyers. And now we're here. So that's why we have all of the best time to have sold was June, when we started reopening. That was the absolute. Now, every day I see in specific areas that used to have like 3 or 4 new listings a day. Now, every day I see 25, 27 new listings in that specific area. There's, tons of inventory already. And it's only 1 month after the reopening. And then we know very well in September what happens. There's an influx, even more. And not only that, August is here, or coming right around the corner. We've been deprived of spring, and we're Canadian. We're deprived of good weather, and so we now have like 1 month left of summer. Do you think most buyers, do you think they're all going to be out looking for houses, or do you think they want to enjoy the last few weeks of summer? They're going to want to enjoy the last few weeks of summer. And usually in August, we have kind of a slowdown, and it's in waves. Like, real estate is in waves every year. Like, I remember last year in August, I had the worst time trying to sell a condo that now would have been sold like in a minute, right? But it's just waves. So August is going to be a little bit slower in terms of people wanting to buy, and that's only going to kind of accumulate the supply. And then September, more supply. And then the other thing about the jobs, the issue is that I know you're saying that some people were temporarily laid off. I think half the people we've spoken to were not temporarily laid off. They were probably temporarily laid off because the company didn't have the heart to completely like cut them out. But a lot of the people that we've spoken to are actually terminated. They are let go. And, marketing, that's like the first thing that goes, advertising, all of that, graphic design, all the like extras. I have friends and clients who have executive roles making 6 figures. They have been let go, and they have a mortgage. They're not paying their mortgage. They've deferred that. And their deferral runs up in October or November. When I talk to them, how's the interview process? They're not even getting interviews. Nobody's hiring. And if they are, there's like a huge amount of people looking for jobs. I don't think all of these people are going to get a job by the time their mortgage comes back. And the bank is not a charity. They're not going to say, oh yeah, you want another 6 months, that's fine. Like, I know a lot of people from September to November, they're going to need to sell in that time. And that's only going to add to the supply that we already have. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the same level, which is good. I mean, it's great for our buyers. It's not great for our sellers, but I mean, it'll be great for our buyers, for some of them to try to get in. That doesn't mean it's going to crash. That doesn't mean it's going to be 50, you know, people are going to slash their prices by half. But I think there's going to be a little more negotiation involved in purchasing in the coming months. That's what I think.
Sorry, you might have to repeat that question there, May, that last one. We just totally veered to the